Digital photography made simple.
Hello and welcome back to Digital 1-to-1. Today we're going to look at how shadows affect our photographs and how using them correctly can make us a more interesting and fascinating composition. A shadow is a silhouette or an outline that is cast by an object blocking a light source. Now in photography we see shadows as elements in our photographs. Understanding and utilizing this building block will help us construct a more interesting composition. Now here's a few examples showing you how the direction of light affects our shadows.
It's very important to understand how shadows affect faces and objects, and being aware of the direction of our light. We see how this direction changes the look of our shots.
Shadows captivate and enhance the weight of importance in our shots. They themselves can be the very subject within our images. How often have we seen the sunlight draping through a window onto a table, and yet we've noticed how the objects and their shadows work within the scene of our image? Shadows establish the relationship of an object's position in a scene. They add dimension and can also create a certain mood to our images. Without them, our images may appear a little plain or lifeless. And understanding this relationship allows us to take advantage of shadows in our images.
Now, by using shadows in our photographs, we could create an ambiance, create emotion, emphasizing emotion, or even create surreal imagery. Now, shadows can offer us a sense of horror or mystery to our images. It could also add a heightened sense of contrast to our subject matter as well as our lighting. Now, we can make shadows as part of our tools to build a better image.
But shadows can also appear subtle and softer, and adding a hint of contour to our subject matter. Now we see this kind of shadow on a cloudy day. It's what we call overcast lighting or open shade. Now anything that diffuses our light source will give us a soft shadow. And we have some samples to show you how we can do this, but right now we're going to diffuse our light to show you a little bit more of what we mean. Now the time of day will also determine how long or short our shadows can be. Now a good rule of thumb is that early morning hours and late afternoon hours will have our longest shadows, and at high noon we're going to have our shortest ones, as you can see on our sundial. Now playing with multiple shadows can also make for an amusing blend of shapes and forms, creating more complex photographs. For instance, having one shadow blend into another. And sometimes when the object casting the shadow can actually be hidden itself.
Now that you have a better understanding and an awareness of shadows, we encourage you to experiment with your shadows and get a better composition when using them.
And seeing the value of shadows is how you become a digital one-to-one photographer. And for the best tips in digital photography, look to us here again on Digital 1-to-1.